Ooh, yakety mac.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Yakety Mac. So I am at Dead Lake in Creola, Alabama, Mobile County, and I am scouting for a tournament I've got here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully I can scout this lake, break it down, learn a little bit about it. I didn't want the first time I saw it to be tournament day, which kind of segues into what I want to talk about today is a little bit about tournament fishing. If you're thinking about getting into it, you're on the fence, maybe you watch some tournaments and you think, man, that would be cool. I'm going to talk to you today about why I think tournament fishing is a good thing. So let's have some fun, see if we can get after them today, guys. I think it's time to put my sunglasses on. So having never been on this body of water before, I looked at Google Maps just to kind of see the lay of the land. And so you'll see here, it's kind of a long and narrow lake. The southern edge of it definitely is kind of windy. You can also see here how once it starts to meet up with closer to the Mobile River, you can see the definite change in water color and texture. I'm not exactly sure what that means, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. In other words, I don't know which one of those two bodies of water would be better. I'm going to pretty much stick to just the Dead Lake area and not venture down anywhere past that southern point. Just saw a sign that said caution manatee habitat. That's kind of cool. Is the water temperature is a little bit cool for manatee to be this far north of Florida right now. It's only about 64 to 65 degree water temps. So that's pretty cool. This definitely looks like gator habitat. I'll definitely keep my eyes peeled for those ornery gators. And we all know why they're so ornery, right? Because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. A little Bobby Boucher this morning. So guys, there's a lot of positives for getting involved in tournament fishing. And today is a prime example of that. Me here scouting this lake and breaking it down. So one of the things that tournament fishing does for you is it forces you into new water. You've got to go fish where the tournaments are at. These club tournaments. Now, some of your online tournaments you can fish any public body of water, and those you're probably going to have a tendency to go to familiar favorites. But with club tournaments like what I'm involved in, it forces you to check out new bodies of water, which will only make you a better fisherman. What works on your favorite lake may not work on the new lake you had to go fish. So this is pretty. This is one of the really good things about tournament fishing. Frog. I've got a scum frog tied on. I'm going to try that. I've never caught a fish on frog before. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a bite. Now, in defense of the frog, I haven't thrown it. I haven't thrown it very much at all. But I think I'm going to try that through here. I'm going to try. Where's my froggy? Froggy, come here, froggy. There we are. So here we are. That's what I'm going to go with. Let's see what it can do. So of course, just like what I'm doing right now with a frog, tournament fishing and fishing different bodies of water, because the terrain's all different, the vegetation's different, this is forcing me to use a lure that I don't have any comfort with. But the more times I use it, the more comfortable I'm going to get with it. You know, I didn't get a kayak to fish out of simply so I could fish in tournaments. When I first wanted a kayak, it was just a means for me to get out on the water to do some bass fishing. It wasn't until I started watching videos and reviews that I even realized that there was this whole kayak fishing world out there, and these bass tournaments and that this whole genre, if you will, even existed. And so it was upon watching those videos that I was like, man, that would be so much fun to participate in some of those tournaments. Now, I am a competitive person by nature. I've played sports my entire life and I love competing. And so the whole idea of competing in these tournaments really appealed to me. So I guess one of the questions you would have to ask is do you have that competitive spirit? One of the mistakes that I think people make, and I didn't sit on the fence very long, was this idea that I'm not good enough. And one of the people that actually, YouTuber, that helped me out with that was Melissa over at Girl Gone Fishing and her channel. And here is a girl who just basically just dove in. She sat on the fence actually for a couple of 3 years, just kind of lurking and watching. Her advice was just dive in. And it really makes a lot of sense, guys. If you think, well, I'm not really good enough, I'm not going to be competitive. Well, maybe you're not. I'm not. I'm not competitive at all. But being uncompetitive is what drives me. I don't like losing. I don't like not being competitive. So that's actually one of the things that drives me, is to get out and participate, and you know, get my ass handed to me, and then go back and try to get better and try to prevent it from happening again. And plus, let's just face it. One of the things, my two favorite sports now, and especially as I'm older, are golf and fishing. And the reason that those are my two favorite sports is because they're very individual sports. It's not really you against whomever it is that happens to be out there. Sure, at the end, you compare your scores, whether it's this game or golf, and someone is declared victorious. But the truth of the matter is that it's you against yourself. And that's what's really great about those two sports. It's how much knowledge do you have, how well do you know patterns, how well can you anticipate behavior. So maybe you did it better than someone else one day, maybe you didn't. But this really isn't about, if there's 10, 20, 50 other guys in a tournament, however many there may be. It's really not about, well, I can't keep up with them. It's about you, and what you're able to do. And if your score at the end falls up short, that's what sport is, right? I really enjoy that aspect of it. Yes, I want to be competitive. Yes, I want guys to wonder what I have coming to the dock. But that's on me, right? I got to figure it out. I got to try to learn more baits. I got to try to learn other things, because that's 100% on me. Another aspect of tournament fishing that you need to consider that shouldn't be overlooked or discounted is the camaraderie, and the sense of fellowship that you get just from hanging out with other people. Human nature has this desire to want to be a part of something, a part of a community. That's how people operate. And so the fellowship and camaraderie that comes along with being in these tournaments, especially the in-person tournaments like your local club tournaments, that's something that you've got to take into consideration. It's valuable, and it's some friendships can develop, but just being a part of a community, being a part of something, is fulfilling. That's another reason you should consider joining in some tournaments. I'm going to switch over. I've tried some topwater, tried the frog. I'm going to switch over to this right here. This is a Yamamoto, a 5-inch, got the red belly on it. I've had some bites on this so far here early in the spring. Not here, I haven't thrown it yet. But I'm going to start throwing this up into some of this subsurface grass and stick up area and see if I can't get bit. Guys, the mere fact that I am throwing this soft plastic worm is the direct result of tournament fishing. Wanting to be a part of that and wanting to be competitive, I had to learn this. I just started doing this like 4 or 5 months ago, October, I think. I caught my first ever bass on a soft plastic in somewhere around October, November. It was a whole 12 inches. And I couldn't have been more excited because I learned a new technique. At least it was new to me, something everyone else has been doing forever. But that's another part. If it weren't for that tournament aspect and really wanting to be competitive, I don't know that I would have taken this up. Prior to getting involved in tournaments, my fishing pretty much was first thing in the morning, top water, until that bite was gone, and then 10 o'clock or so, I'd pack it up and head home. I didn't know any other type of fishing, so once I deemed that bite was over with, well, it was time to go home. Now I've got something else that I can rely on because I forced myself to learn it. So, not only did I force myself to learn a new technique in fishing, a new presentation, it's now become kind of my go-to. And I mean, that's kind of cool. I used to be scared of throwing it, scared of getting hung up, didn't know how to throw it. I said scared might be a strong word. I was just reluctant to. Seemed like it was going to be more hassle. I didn't know what I was doing. I got it. So we'll go with that one right there. Try changing up color a little bit, get something a little more reflective. So guys, one of the other benefits of tournament fishing is that you can't cherry pick your conditions. If you are going out for a day of recreational fishing, you're going to check the forecast. And if it is the day after a front, bluebird skies, north wind, chances are maybe you're going to do some yard work or something. With a tournament, they're scheduled weeks and months in advance. And so you've got to fish the conditions that are present. Whether that's a situation that I just described, or a front moves through in the middle of the day, or it's raining. Those are the things that you're just going to have to do to participate in the tournament. Those dates are set well in advance. So tournament fishing forces you to maybe step out of your comfort zone, especially when it comes to under what conditions will you go fishing in, which again definitely helps you become better at your craft. All right. Let's see if the change of color brings me a change in results. I've not had a single bite today. All right, y'all. Well, it appears that Dead Lake is truly dead. That's not true. I saw all kinds of activity today. Had one bite. I had just applied sunscreen like 5 minutes prior to that. And I had a bite, went to set the hook, and the rod slipped in my hand. I don't think I ever had hook any. But anyway, that's a fishtail, right? We've all got them. But anyway, it was very valuable to come out here and spend a little bit of time on this lake scouting prior to my tournament in a couple of weeks. And that brings me to another point with tournament fishing. Also, an added benefit that you got to go scout your lakes. So it's just more time on the water. It's a good thing I did scout this lake. This is quite different than a lot of stuff that I have fished, especially with just how thick the vegetation is. Like for instance, I would normally just automatically start off with a treble hook topwater. You could do that, but it's tough. The vegetation is sitting just below the surface. And so almost instantaneously you're pulling back grass with you, weeds, whatever it is. And so I've also learned that I'm going to have to go with something heavier than a 1/8 ounce bullet weight on my Texas rig because it's so thick in order to be able to get down through it all. These are things that I would not have known and would not have rigged up prior to arriving here had I not come out here and scouted and done a little exploration. So I think I know my starting spot in a couple of weeks. You never know what the conditions are going to be like or how they're going to change between what it's like today and what it's going to be like then, but I've got a pretty good idea of where I want to start. So it was fun, even though I'm coming back home empty-handed. No pictures or stories to show for it. Guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. And do me a favor, like this video. You know, I like every single video that I watch. It's just a cool thing to do. A lot of time and effort goes into these, so it would be much appreciated. Comment, share, and of course subscribe if you want to see a whole lot more of me doing nothing. I am the best there is at it, guys, I'm telling you. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate you. And hey, look, no matter what you've got going on, always take time to get outside and play.